Hey, dear friends, long time no see. And today you're looking at me wearing my graduation cap, and that's because I just completed a program related to education, which is going to keep on helping me become a better version of an educator and as an ESL teacher. As you probably know, I've made a living as an ESL instructor for many years, and I want to reflect about that. I think I am a much better version of the kind of teacher that I was in the past, and that makes sense, right? Because the more you do what you love doing, the better you become at it. And I wanted to make this video to talk about some of the things that we are probably sometimes falling into and we should try to avoid when it comes to teaching English. So this video is dedicated to my colleagues who also teach English as a foreign language, right? And love doing what they do as ESL teachers. Um, well, the first thing has to do with teacher talking time. I don't know why many teachers who are English teachers love speaking English during their teaching practice. And they don't remember that the people who really need to practice a language are the students, right? They are the ones who really need to practice English. You don't need to show anybody else how beautiful your English is, how beautiful your pronunciation is, how great your grammar is. At the end of the day, you are the teacher, right? So make sure that you give students the opportunity to speak, right? Whatever you're teaching them, it is them who actually have to do the talking in class and not you. So if you're spending a lot of time doing a lot of teacher talking time, keep in mind that our approach should always be student talking time. They are our priority, right? Our job is to coach them, to give them tips, to give them tools, strategies. But at the end of the day, students really appreciate it when they know that they join the class and most of all finish the class knowing that they have made their best out of their study time. That leads me to this massive amount of information that we have in our course outline or in our curriculum. Sometimes we want to we want to teach them everything, right? And we look at our course outline as a straitjacket, something mechanical that we have to teach and teach and teach and teach, not paying attention to students' needs and that we have to accommodate to those students' needs, right? Because students really appreciate it once again when they see those tangible results, those tangible changes in their language. And that's because we have taken the time to know what is working and what is not working. I mean, if something is not working during the term, it's totally fine to make some changes, right? To tweak things, to know that our approach might not be, giving the results that we want. So if that happens to you, be flexible, right? And try to be open-minded and try to make those changes that will make your teaching practice more convenient, more enjoyable, and more practical for our students. Because at the end of the day, once again, it should be about the students and not about the course outline or this massive information that we're trying to teach them without realizing that students probably need to work on tiny things that we're kind of overlooking because we want to teach and teach and teach without paying attention to their needs. And that also allows me to talk about this feeling that we have that sometimes we have to know everything about the language, right? That we're not allowed to to make mistakes. Well, if sometimes students ask you something and you don't know the answer of that, it's totally fine to tell them, you know what, I don't have an answer for that. Let me go back to you once I have that piece of information. I still need to find out about that, right? After you do that, you realize that you don't have this stress, this burden on your shoulders because you have to know everything. You don't have to know everything, right? Your job is to coach them, to give them tips, to give them strategies, to give them tools so that they know how to work with the language more conveniently, more practically, more effectively, right? And also realize that you are an English teacher, right? That you don't need to know everything about the language, and you have to be humble and knowing that you don't have to know everything, right? And once you do that, students actually respect you much more. They value your work much more because they know you are the real deal, that you're being truthful to yourself and you're being truthful to them as students, right? So if that happens to you, if you have this, a lot of stress on your shoulders because you think you have to know everything about the language, stop thinking about that, okay? And I've been reflecting about this for many years, and every time I want to fall into this needs, right? Like a lot of teacher talking time and trying to teach everything in a mechanical way and trying to know everything about the language, I go back and I say it's not about this, right? It's about students' needs. It's about accommodating to those needs. So if that happens to you, please reflect about that. I wanted to share this video with my colleagues, and please talk about it with your other colleagues who might be having the same problem and they don't know or they don't want to talk about that. Okay, so bye bye now, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.